Alrighty. Looks like we're getting pretty close to done. So I'm going to share my screen again, and we're going to go on to the next part of the activity. Alrighty. So back on the screen with our story. You guys just finished writing your summary, or if you need to go back and finish it later, that's totally fine. It saves what you've done, and you can just click edit, and it will do it all again, or you can add to it later. So we're going to close the summary tab, and the next one on the list is the launch activity. So this one we're going to do as well. I sneeze, sorry. So this one, it says to participate in a group discussion. That's a little bit hard to do on this. So I'm going to ask you guys to share your answers after we answer them, instead of doing like a discussion type of thing. If we were in person, it'd be a lot easier to get in groups and discuss these things. But for right now, we're just going to type out our answers and then share them if you would like to. So we're going to consider this statement. You need to overcome obstacles to learn new things. Okay? So what you're going to do on your own is just think about these questions, and then if you scroll down farther, there's a notebook down there that you can write your answers to the questions. So if you want to open the notebook and start writing as I talk, that's totally fine. But the questions you're going to answer in that notebook are, have you ever faced a challenge that led to success? Do you know someone who has also had this experience? And then, does learning new things have to be challenging? So there's 3 questions there, and you can maybe write a sentence for each one. So you're going to decide your position. Do you agree that learning new things can be challenging? Or strongly agree, disagree, or strongly disagree? And when you scroll down, you have this space to write your answer. So I agree because, and type your answer. So we've got 3 questions here to answer. I'm just going to highlight them so that those are the questions you're answering. Everybody with me? Still good? Okay, so I'm going to give you guys maybe 3 minutes. Go ahead and type your answer to those 3 questions, and then we'll talk about them for a few minutes, okay? So go ahead and work on that, please. I'll leave it up so that you guys can flip back and forth between it. I feel like we need some music in the silences. Yep. Make sure you answer all 3 questions too. That's what I look for, so make sure that you're getting all parts of the questions. Okay, about one more minute. And again, if you don't finish it, you'll have plenty of time after to work on it before we have our next lesson. Alrighty, so I'm gonna go back over and stop presenting, and let's just do a small discussion. I'd love it if you guys answered a few questions. So the first question on there that you guys were writing about was, have you ever faced a challenge that has led to success? Have any of you guys ever done that? Faced a challenge, but you were successful? Yeah, Charlie, you're saying yes. Do you want to tell us about it, or just a small little thing about it?
I go to the skate park with my
You go to the skate
rollerblades.
park, so it's challenging to learn the new tricks, but you do them?
Yeah, go up new ramps and stuff.
Cool. I like that example. Anybody else? What's something that was a little bit challenging, but you were good at, or you got good at? You can write it in the chat if you want to. Madi, I see your hand.
Some softball games.
So softball, that's a good one too. It can be challenging, right, to learn how to play softball, but once you get good at it, you're pretty successful at it. Anybody else? You can write it in the chat or out loud if you want to. It's up to you. Football, that's a good one. So sports is a good one, right? In general, being able to like, you're facing the challenge of learning a new sport, but you get better at it as you practice. What about some, do you guys know anybody else that has had that experience as well? That faced a challenge, but they were successful? Any ideas? No. One of the big ones for me is Almaty or Nana. Do you want to talk about it, or that's just someone that you've seen?
I've seen her face a lot of challenges. There's a lot of stuff she does.
So just kind of a daily thing where she faces a challenge, but she's successful with things?
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's good, though. One of the big examples that I can think of is people that go to college. So they are always facing a challenge in college. College can be hard sometimes. So they go to college, but most people are successful in college. They graduate and do well, right? Or maybe like trade school where you go and learn a trade, like being an electrician or a plumber or things like that. Those are always really good options, but they're challenging. But most people face that challenge and overcome it and do awesome at their jobs. So those are some good examples. The last question that was on there was, does learning new things have to be challenging? What do you guys think? Do you agree? Disagree? Charlie, what do you think? What's that mean?
It means like sometimes it is, sometimes it's not, and sometimes like not really.
So it depends on the challenge, like what's happening. Okay. You guys agree with that? I see Madi, you're shaking your head yes. Anybody else have any ideas? All right, that's fine. I think that it's fun to learn new things and it's a little bit challenging, but I don't want it to be like too challenging where I can't do it. That's my point of no return. Like, I like to learn new things, but I don't want it to be too hard that I completely fail every time I try. So it's nice to have the gradual, like, it's challenging, but it gets easier, or it gets harder once I get better at it. So you're always growing at like the same pace, right? That's how I kind of like to experience things. Okay, so that's our nice little discussion. It would have been, I think it's more fun in person when you actually get to talk to people more readily, but we'll get there hopefully eventually. So I'm gonna present my screen again, and you guys have another small activity to do. Alrighty, so back at our story, if you close the launch activity tab, we got another thing underneath. It's called quick write. We're gonna do a little bit of writing again. So this one is just on your own. We're not gonna share out on this one. It's all on your own. So considering the class discussion we just had, we watched the video, we read the text, and you think about the prompt, which was at the very top. What are some challenges and triumphs of growing up? So record your ideas down here to answer this question. When did a challenge lead to a triumph? So in your life, when did you face a challenge and overcome it and succeed? Okay, so about maybe 2 or 3 minutes to do that. Thumbs up if that makes sense what you're doing. Good? All right, go ahead and take 2 or 3 minutes and type out your answer here.
What's a triumph?
A triumph is when you succeed at something. So you face a challenge and then you do really well at it. Okay, about 1 more minute. And if you don't finish, that's all right. You can go back and work on it later. Alrighty. Whether or not you're done, go ahead and hit close. It'll automatically save, so just hit close. And you can go back and finish it later if you need to. Okay, I'm gonna close the quick write part. So we have one last part of the number 1 section to do. We all with me? Doing good? Thumbs up. Cool. So we have one last section, the evidence log. So this is where we're going to do the text evidence and connect it back to the overall prompt. So if we go back to our page, yep, I know I'm presenting, and we click on evidence log for childhood. Kind of a long thing. There's a few places in the notebook, but we're going to deal all of these together. So you can type what I type. Maybe not in the very first one, but we're going to do this part together. So it says, review your quick write, summarize your thoughts in 1 sentence to record in your evidence log, then record textual evidence or details or evidence from Wagon Train at Dusk that support your thinking. Prepare for the performance-based assessment at the end of the unit by completing the evidence log after each selection. So like I said, this evidence log is going to follow us throughout the whole unit, and every time we read a different story, we're going to fill it out so that you have evidence to go back to at the end when we do our big project. So our prompt here today is, when did a challenge lead to a triumph? I'm just going to highlight that so that we know it's there. So this is very similar to what you guys just wrote, your initial thoughts based on it. So this is actually kind of what you wrote. So this is going to be based on you. Whatever you just wrote about. So let's say I played soccer for 18 years of my life. So I'm going to write something about overcoming a soccer challenge. So when I was 16, I really hurt my knee playing soccer. But I did all the things I needed to do, to fix it and get back to playing soccer. So that would be kind of like what you guys would have wrote up there. So let's say Yoshi said football. So in your quick write, the challenge you faced was something around football and how you overcame it. So that's what you wrote in the quick write. And you guys are essentially writing the same exact thing down here. This is my example. So you guys need to write your own example. So I'm going to give you about 1 minute to do that. Just one quick sentence about that challenge you faced. I know it's a bit repetitive, but that's because it's going to follow you throughout the whole unit so that you remember what you wrote on this one. Okay, thumbs up if that makes some sense, what we're doing on that one. Good. All right, so go ahead and fill that one out. Take about 1 minute. Real quick. I'm going to hit close because I'm done. My grammar's not good in that sentence. When I was 16, comma. Okay. Oh, to fix it. You can't talk and type at the same time. Alrighty, thumbs up if you guys are ready for the next one. Almost there? Alright, I'll give you another 30 seconds or so. Some of you guys are still typing. Alright, how about now? Good? Thumbs up if you're ready to go to the next one. Not yet? Okay, Julian, I'll give you about do another minute, and then we're going to move on, and you might have to go finish it up later, okay? Okay. So 1 more minute. Alrighty, we're gonna go ahead and move on. If you're not done, that's all right. You can go, it'll save, and you can go finish up your sentence later. So the next part, the connection to prompt, so the next 4 parts, we're gonna kind of do together. So it says connection to prompt on my screen. We're gonna write in the notebook there. What it's asking us to do is figure out how this story about Sarah having a bad day and then her dad telling her the story about his diorama getting ruined and all of that stuff. So we're going to take this story and connect it to the prompt. When did a challenge lead to a triumph? So we need to ask ourselves first, what was the challenge in the story? Okay, what is the challenge that happened in the story? And I'm going to need you guys to answer there. What's the challenge that happened? What challenge happened in this story? What was the problem? There's another way to put it. What was the problem that happened with the dad? Anyone, you can type it in the chat too. But what was the problem in the story? What challenge did the dad face? Good, Lauren. He lost his diorama. The dog ate it, right? So we're going to type that in there. So the connection to the prompt, how is it right? Challenge the dad faced is that his dog ate his diorama. All right. Diorama. Okay, so the dog ate his diorama. But something good came of that. Give you a second to finish typing that out. Where am I typing, Juliana? We're under the evidence log for childhood, and then if you scroll down a little bit, we're typing under the connection to the prompt. So it's on the right in there, connection to the prompt. Okay, did that help? Good. So we know that the challenge is that the dog ate the diorama, but what good came from that? Something good came out of it. What did the dad do when he was a kid? What good came from the dog ripping up the diorama? Any ideas? Charlie?
He thought of an idea to just say it was a tornado site, like that a tornado happened there or something.
Mm-hmm.
And then he got then he won, got the best grade.
Good, exactly. So, and then Madi said it too. Instead of saying, okay, it's a circle of trains or wagons around a campfire. It's a tornado hit it instead. So instead, we're going to go back to typing. So instead of his original project, he said it was wagons, wagons hit by a tornado. We'll give you about 30 seconds. You can copy exactly what I wrote. It's totally fine. But that's how it connects to the prompt. He had a challenge. His dog ate his diorama, but then he overcame that challenge and called it Wagons Hit by a Tornado. Well, he called it Wagon Train after a tornado. Close enough, though. Okay, when you're done typing that out, you can go ahead and hit close. So it closes that part of the notebook. Okay, so we just did the connection to the prompt. And then we're going to scroll down a little bit more and do the text evidence / details part. And open up that notebook. Okay, we following? Still good? Thumbs up if you're good. All right. So this next part, the text evidence part, is we're going to take actual sentences from the text and just type them right in here that gives us evidence that he overcame his challenge. So I scrolled down all the way to the bottom of the story, and I'm just going to highlight this part. You guys don't have to, but let's find, go ahead and reread this part. What couple of sentences would tell us that the dad did a really good job and triumphed, even though he hit a challenge? Okay, so take a couple of seconds. What sentences would work for that? And I can't see you guys right now, so if one of you wants to unmute and tell me what you think the sentences would be that would work the best for that, go for it. Juliana, you want to go for it? Go ahead.
The teacher loved it. Everyone enjoyed my story. I think George is actually jealous. Jorge.
Yep. Good. I think that's exactly right. So we're going to take this text evidence. We're going to put it in quotes. And we know that he overcame the challenge of his diorama being destroyed because it says the teacher loved it. And then everyone enjoyed my story. And I think Jorge was actually jealous. And then we'll put that, the whole thing is in quotes because we're taking it directly from the text. Once you've typed that out, you can hit close. And we're done with our text evidence part. Sorry guys, I know we're pushing 9:30, but we're almost done. The additional notes and ideas part is just if you have any additional thoughts or ideas, that's where you would put them. So this one is kind of an on your own if you have any extra ideas. So any other thoughts about the story is what you would write here. So that'll be kind of on you if you have any other thoughts. If you don't, you can write, I don't have any more thoughts on that one. So the additional notes and ideas is just if you have extra ideas. And then the last one, how does this text change or add to my thinking? So this is again on your end. Does this text give you any different ideas about childhood. So that'll be a question for you to answer. Does this text give you any other ideas or thoughts? I can type or thoughts about. Okay, so those two are kind of, if the story gave you any other ideas, you would type out some more ideas there, but it's your evidence log, so it's what you would like to write there. Okay, so that's the end of the Unit 1 part. The introduction launch text up in the top left, we did that first one. We also already listened to the audio summary, so that one's good. The only last thing we need to do, which will be more on your own, we're not going to do it all together, is this Unit 1 introduction discussion board activity. So click on that number 3 and then give me a thumbs up if you see that. Good, you guys see where that's at? So that part, it says click here to go to the discussion forum. In order to do that, you just click here and it'll open up and it'll go directly to the discussion. There's no discussions there yet because we haven't started it, but on the bottom right it says post a comment. So I'm going to do one as well, and then on your own time you can do it right now, you can do it later, but you'll get there through the assignment. You would post a comment. So I'll do one right now, and the prompt is right above it. Do you think competition should be part of everyone's childhood? We did talk about this one yesterday a little bit, but I also want to hear your thoughts. Once you post, I don't know for sure, but I'm pretty sure that you'll be able to respond to other people just like we did on some other things. So feel free to have some conversations with people on here if that's available. It might not be, but that's our lesson for the day. So this part you guys need to go do on your own. I'm going to stop sharing my screen. Okay. So